Hi, I'm Callie, and this is Yoga for Soccer for the Yorks County Libraries in South Carolina. So I consulted my brother-in-law, who is a soccer coach, about what he thought a soccer player could really benefit from yoga from, and he thought flexibility in the hips, in the glutes, and in the legs. So that's what we're going to work on today, is opening up those spaces. So let's start lying on our backs and hugging your knees into your chest. Really pull your legs down with your arm strength, and you'll probably feel those hip flexors, okay? That's part of what we're going to get into today. So reach down in between your legs and grab onto your feet, bringing the soles of your feet together and your knees open wide. Try to keep your tailbone down into the mat. Try to relax your shoulders open and down. And then let your knees come back together and hug your knees into your chest again. And now reach down for the outer edges of your feet, opening up for Happy Baby. So for Happy Baby, we try stacking ankles over knees. Try to relax your shoulders and melt them down into the mat. Good. Pressing your tailbone down into the mat. This might be quite intense as one of your first really big hip openers. So that's normal if you're feeling a lot. Might be comfortable to rock side to side, a little massage for your back. And coming back to knees to chest. Hug those knees in. And set your right foot down and cross your left ankle over your right knee. Reach down for that right thigh and pull your legs back in. Good. So trying to flex this top foot back towards your knee. Trying to open up those shoulders again. And this might feel quite intense if you have pretty tight hips. This is a great stretch to start opening them up. I just call it figure 4 because your legs look like the number 4 here. And then you can even take your left hand and put it on your left knee and push that knee away, and you'll feel even more intensity. You don't have to do that, but you might like it. So keep your legs as they are and let your arms come straight out from your shoulders. And we're going to take the legs over to the right. I'm going to hold on to my left ankle and try to keep my top knee pointed up. You look the opposite direction of your legs, and we're going to take 3 big breaths. Fill your belly up on the inhale. Deflate it on the exhale. One more. Good. And come back to center. And let's take it the other way. So this time, left foot goes down and right ankle crosses over the left. Reach down for that left thigh. Pull your legs in towards you. Try to open up those shoulders and relax them down into the mat. Flexing that top foot back towards your knee. And you might find that one side is actually tighter than the other, and that's very normal. I'm feeling it today for sure. So if you want, you can take your right hand to the right knee and push that knee away for more intensity. And then keeping your legs as they are, arms straight out from your shoulders, legs come over to the left. So if you want to, holding on to that right ankle, try to keep that right knee pointed up, and you look the opposite direction. 3 big breaths, filling up your belly. And come back to center. Hug both knees in, and we're gonna do a rock and roll up to a yogi squat. So if you have to watch me first before you try it, that's fine. So what you do is you use the momentum of your legs and your body, and you're gonna rock a few times, maybe 3 to 5. It should feel good on your back. And then when you're ready for your yogi squat, you're gonna open up your feet really wide and lift your booty up just a bit, okay? Elbows come on the insides of your knees. You try to sit up nice and tall. Prayer hands right into your heart space. Good, and yogi squat looks different for everybody. So if you find that your heels are up, you can't get your heels down, that's really normal. I practiced for many years before my heels came down to the mat. If your heels are down today, good job. That's great too. So you're just trying to keep a nice tall spine and breathe deeply right here. So this is kind of going to be our base pose, the yogi squat, or we call it malasana. And so what you're going to do from here is take your fingertips out in front of you, and you're going to straighten your arms as you lift halfway up. Bring your toes, your feet to parallel each other, so you kind of bring those toes back in. Take an inhale here, exhale, fold down, and then inhale, rise up, sweep your arms up. When you bring your arms up, bend at your elbows and grab onto opposite elbows. Take an inhale, and as you exhale, lean over to one side for a side bend. Inhale back to center. Exhale to the other side. Inhale back to center. And bring your hands to heart center. And as you exhale, you squat back down to your yogi squat. So bring your heels in further than your toes. And it's okay for those heels to be lifted. So let's just try that one more time, because that's kind of going to be our flow in between some of our major movements here, okay? So hands out in front, straighten your legs, inhale halfway up. Exhale, fold. It's okay to have bent knees. Inhale, rise up, reach up. Bend at your elbows, grab onto your elbows. Another big inhale. Exhale, lean to one side. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, other side. Inhale, back to center. Hands to heart center as you bend your knees and squat down. Very good. So take your hands out in front of you, and we're going to step back with our right leg. So step back as far as you can and drop that back knee down. I'm going to walk my left foot forward a little bit and get into a really deep, low runner's lunge. You should be feeling this a lot in your hips, especially the front of the right hip. Okay, so just sinking down right here, taking a few breaths, letting your hips start to get used to this opening. And then you're going to push your hips back to straighten your front leg. Let the toes peel up, actually flexing them back towards you. A slight little bend in this knee is healthy, but otherwise trying to keep it pretty straight. You should feel a lot happening in the back of this leg. Good. So bend back into that front knee and walk that foot off to the side again. Maybe even step it back a little. Hands out in front, and we're going to step forward back to yogi squat. So stepping back up, bending down, elbows on the insides of your knees, prayer hands at heart center, trying to have a nice flat back. And let's do our little flow where we stand up and do our side bends. So here we go. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, fold down. Inhale, rise up, reach up. Grabbing onto opposite elbows, big inhale. Exhale, lean over. Inhale, center. Exhale, lean to the left. Inhale, center. Exhale, squat down as you bring your hands to heart center. Really good. So let's do that runner's lunge on the other side. Bring your hands out in front, and we're stepping the left foot back. Maybe walking that front foot up just to find your low runner's lunge. So noticing what's happening in the front of the left hip, probably a lot going on there. Just breathing into it, letting the hips start to get used to this very deep stretch. Good, and let's push our hips back to straighten your front leg. Half splits here, so flexing the toes back towards your face. If you're feeling it in the back of this leg, you're doing it right. Good, and walk your hands forward to bend that front knee. Maybe toe heel that foot off to the side as we get ready. You're preparing to step back up into yogi squat. So when you're ready, step back up, yogi squat. And for our standing flow, inhale halfway up, exhale fold, inhale rise up, reach up, bend at the elbows, grab onto the elbows, big inhale at center, exhale lean to one side, inhale back to center, exhale lean to the other side, inhale back to center, and exhale as you squat back down. Good. So relax your shoulders down here in yogi squat. You're doing great. So we're just going to keep adding on to what we're doing. So our first thing is stepping back into that runner's lunge. So take those hands out in front and step back into your low runner's lunge. Set yourself up if you need to move your front foot or whatever. Good, right here in low runner's lunge. So from right here, take your left forearm and put it on your left thigh and rise up. So I don't really have weight into my front arm, okay? We're not really leaning on that leg. It's just kind of for balance and stability. Reach back with your right hand. See how my thumb is up? And you're gonna see if you can pick up that back foot. So see if you can pick it up and grab onto it. If you're very tight today, this is going to be really hard. So try not to judge yourself. Yoga is a space of non-judgment. If you can't get this today, this is something to work towards. So either you can just be reaching back or grabbing onto this foot. One more breath. And then come back to center. Take your hands down to the mat. Push your hips back for that half splits. So from here, what I'd like you to do is keeping your foot flexed, just let the toes open up to the outside and then let them come inward. And just notice how that changes the sensations in your leg and in your hip. Such a small little movement, but maybe you feel it quite strong like I do. Good. So bring those toes back to center and let's walk forward back to that low runner's lunge. This time take your right hand and plant it down on the ground in line with that front foot. And we're doing similar thing but with a twist. So reach back with your left hand, thumb is up, and see if you can pick up that foot. And maybe you can find it. And just push that foot back into your arm. It'll open up the left shoulder, maybe your gaze goes up. And maybe you can't lift it today, and that's fine. Maybe it's just the motion of trying to lift it. Or maybe you're just reaching back like this. So wherever you are, try for one more breath. And then bring your hands back forward. Good, and we're gonna toe heel that left foot out to the side, preparing to step forward for yogi squat. So come back to center, notice those hips, you should be feeling a lot. Maybe a little sway side to side. And then let's take our flow. Inhale halfway up, straightening your legs. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up, reach up. Bend your elbows, grab onto those elbows. Inhale right here at center. Exhale, lean to one side. Inhale, center. Exhale, lean to the other side. Inhale, center. And exhale as you bend all the way back down into your yogi squat. Good. So let's try it on the other side. Hands out in front as you step back with your left foot and find that low runner's lunge. Yeah, set yourself up. And then right forearm on your right thigh to rise up. Remember, not much weight. You should be able to lift it up, no problem. And then reaching back with the left hand, thumb is up, and see if you can pick up that foot and grab onto it. Again, it may just be the motion here of like trying, like, I think I can get it one day. You know, again, this is one that took me a few attempts before I was able to do it. So it might just be something to work towards. So one more breath. And then release that foot. Bring your hands to frame your front leg. Push your hips back for half splits. Stretching out the hamstrings on the back of the leg especially. And then let's try that windshield wiper with the foot. So you're flexing the toes back toward you and then letting the toes open to the outside. And then bringing them inside. So we go nice and slow so you can notice what it feels like. Good, and then bringing the toes back up to center, walking forward with those hands to bend into your front knee. This time we plant the left hand down in line with the front foot. Reach back with the right hand. You might stay here. You might see if you can start to lift that foot up. And then if you can lift it all the way up, you can grab onto that foot. It's a big thigh stretch here if you can get it. One more breath. And then come back to center. Walk that right foot out to the side a little bit. And as you're ready, stepping up to yogi squat. Hands to heart center, and then just a little sway back and forth. Good. Hands out in front of you. Inhale halfway up. Exhale, fold. And inhale, rise up, reach up, bend up the elbows, grab onto those elbows. Big inhale right here. Exhale, lean to one side. Inhale back to center. Exhale to the other side. Inhale back to center. Exhale, fold down, yogi squat. Good, so one more round here, just adding a little bit. We're doing something kind of new here. So take your hands in front of you, step back with your right foot first, drop that knee, and then step back with your left foot. So we're in tabletop. Very good. Pick up your right knee just an inch off the mat, and we're drawing big circles with this knee. So this is kind of seeing the mobility in your hips, what your range of motion is. So it's like your knee is drawing a circle, making it as big as you can. And let's draw these the opposite way. Good. And then take that leg, and let's just take the leg out to the side, and it's in line with your left knee. So you can stay right here on your hands. You're probably feeling your inner right thigh, and that's exactly right. So you can stay right here. If you want a deeper stretch, it might be possible to come down to your forearms. So it's wherever you're getting a good stretch. You never obviously want to tear anything and create an injury. So if you're feeling pain, you might be going a little too far. You're always going to feel some discomfort as you stretch, and that's normal, but pain is the body's way of saying this is not good for you today. So honoring your body and listening to that. One more breath. And rise back up to your hands. And then pick up that leg, and we're going to take it straight out behind us. Now this is a little bit tricky. Let's see if we can do it together. You're going to take your right knee behind your left knee. Now I'm going to walk my knees over to the center of my mat. Take your feet super wide in opposite directions. Okay? So see what I did there? And then walk your hands back, and you're trying to come to sitting in between your feet, not on your feet. Trying to get to sitting in between your feet. Whew. And if you can get there, what you're aiming for is knee stacked over knee. Both sides of your booty on the ground, and your feet will probably be close into your hips, but they don't have to be. And you can kind of grab onto your ankles and move your legs if you need to. Try to settle in. This will feel pretty intense on your hips. So you can just take your hands at heart center right in front of you, close your eyes, and send some big breaths into your hips. Good. And now take your hands in front of you, press into them so you can come back up. Good, and just pick up that right leg and come back to that tabletop. One more thing here. Walk your hands out in front a little further than your shoulders, and you're just going to drop your hips over to the right. So still working that right hip. And what you do is you try to get that hip towards the floor, and you kind of move around back and forth. And you're looking for some feeling in the outer right hip. So just kind of moving around out here until you feel something happening. And when you do, you can just pause in that space, stretching into the outer hip. And then come on back to center. Good. Step forward with your left foot. Toes out a little wider than heels. And then step forward with your right foot, yogi squat. Here we go. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up, reach up. Bend at your elbows, grab onto opposite elbows. Big inhale. Exhale, lean to one side. Inhale, center. Exhale, other side. Inhale, center. Exhale as you bring your hands together, bend your knees, yogi squat. Really good. Okay, bring your hands down in front of you, step back with your left leg, and then step back with your right leg, finding that tabletop. So just the same as we did on the other side, pick up that left knee and draw some big circles with this side. Making them as big as you can. This is another place you might notice the difference in your hips. Take these circles the opposite direction. Excellent. Now take that foot off to the side in line with your knee that's on the ground. And then you either stay lifted or you might be able to lower down to your forearms. Good, rise back up to your hands. And then take that leg out behind you. And then you're gonna cross it behind the right, left knee behind the right knee. Take your feet super wide so that you can get your booty back in between your legs. Now again, like I have to adjust a little bit when I get here, try to pull my legs back, try to see if my knees are stacked. Both sides of the booty down on the ground. Hands to heart center, close your eyes and send those big, beautiful breaths right down into your hips. Excellent. And so you're gonna lean forward onto your hands and press back up. Crawling forward, unwinding that left leg. Now, take your hands a little further up than your shoulders and drop your hips over to the left. You're looking for that sensation on the outer left hip. You're kind of moving around here, seeing if you can find it, and when you do, just pause wherever you feel it and take a few breaths. Good, and then just come back up to tabletop, and let's step forward with your right foot and then step forward with your left foot. Yogi squat. And for our last flow through here, inhale halfway up, exhale fold, inhale rise up, reach up, bending at the elbows, grab onto the elbows, inhale right here. Exhale, lean to one side. Inhale back to center. Exhale, lean to the other side. Inhale, center. Exhale, bend your knees down to yogi squat. So press your elbows against your knees to open up those legs. Try to relax your shoulders down. This is your last yogi squat, okay? So take your left arm out to the side, like extend it straight. So you're still using your arm to press your knee open. Plant your hand on the ground and then squeeze your booty so that you keep your right knee open as you extend your right arm up. Maybe you can look up at your right arm. 3 big breaths. And then bring your hand back down. Come back to prayer hands for a moment. And then take that right arm out to the side, planting the palm down on the ground. You're still pushing that right knee open. And then lift up your left arm. Maybe you can look up. 3 big breaths. And then bring your hand back down. Press your knees open wide. Last yogi squat. Try to get nice and tall on your spine. And then super carefully and in control, set your booty down on the ground. And bring your legs in front of you. Bring the soles of the feet together. Let your knees open wide. You don't have to be your feet don't have to be close into you. And just round your back and let your head hang down. That should feel quite good after all that work. And sit up nice and tall. And bring your knees together, feet on the ground, as you just roll down onto your back. Extend your left leg out long. Hug your right knee in. Hold your right knee in with your left hand. Right arm out to the side. Take a big inhale, and you pull this knee across your body. Gaze goes the opposite way of your knee. And you just simply rest and breathe. And come back to your back. Pull the left knee in, extend your right leg out. Hug that knee in, hold it there with your right hand. Left arm out to the side, big inhale, and then pull your leg across your body. Looking over the opposite way of your knee, and just relaxing, breathing. And come back to your back. And take your feet together, knees open wide, just like we did in seated, but now we're on our backs. Just a nice way to let the hips just be really open and relaxed. Take your arms down by your sides, palms up. And you can close your eyes, and all you have to do is just lie here and breathe. This is final resting pose. It's said that this is where the body absorbs all the work you've done, so just rest. And go ahead and wiggle your fingers and draw your knees together and then pull them into your chest. Pick up your head and squeeze your forehead towards your knees, squeezing everything together, and then release for a full body stretch. And then from here, you just roll to one side. Take that top arm in front of you, just a nice gentle way to sit up. And just find a simple seated position, whatever feels right to you. Bring your hands to heart center. Take a moment to be grateful for making it to your mat, being grateful for whatever you can find to be grateful for. And I'm grateful that you practiced with me today. So thank you for being here. And I hope to see you again. Have a great day.